I think we're here, boys. All right. Let a few people get in the room. Hello, everybody. Glad to see you. Whew. Rob, what's up, brother? Rob Laborin is a good American. Adam Craig's a good American. Trev Burt is a good American. Everybody's good Americans today. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Q&A. The mic is plugged in. We have set up OBS stream. We have hit the record button. Adam, this is going to be recorded. It's going to be great. Everybody's going to love it. So, Adam, I did not type out Happy Hanukkah in the title, so I will wish everybody that is joining us. Yeah, that's exactly right. Rob is northbound. Come on home, brother. Come on home. In fact, I'm going to ask a question about your 14 bolt today while we're on here, dude, and see if anybody else has got a problem. Hello, Josh Wesley, good American. I saw that you're getting ready to tackle your injectors, man. If you need something, holler at me. What was I talking about? Hanukkah. Adam, I didn't type out Hanukkah. Nothing against Hanukkah. For all of our Jewish watchers today, I would like to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah. I think Kwanzaa might be going on right now. Is Kwanzaa going on, Adam? I don't know if Kwanzaa is going on or not. Did you send me a message? You didn't send me a message, did you? Okay. Anyway, but if Kwanzaa is going on, happy Kwanzaa to all the Kwanzaa people out there. So let's go. Somebody asked a question, for crying out loud. So talk about how many people are on here. Not enough people on here to ask your question, Rob. It might be a slow day today on Q&A. We might wind up sitting here talking about fishing because it is 20 degrees outside and we should all go fishing for sure. Hello, Devon. How are you? Devon Young is a good American. I have a fully stocked 12-valve Clements with a P7100 pump. What can I do to bump up the power without trashing the motor? Devon, that's a really, really good question. I would definitely consider that if you're going to go, if you're going to be doing very much to the truck, I would definitely consider doing head studs and a head gasket and having your head trued up before you go too far. The 35 frame turbos on those trucks will produce a drive pressure that is detrimental to most 12-valve head gaskets, so you might want to think about doing that first. So power adders. There are tons and tons and tons of videos out there on YouTube, and some of them are good and some of them are bad, that talk to you about some of the things that you can do to a 7100 frame, P7100 pump that's just free horsepower. You should take a look at some of those. And definitely consider some of those things that you can do, because number one, you talk about free horsepower, you get a better idea of what's going on with your truck and how to work on your truck yourself and how the inner workings of your pump are. Don't take your fuel plate out. Some of them will tell you take your fuel plate out and throw it over hill. Don't do that. You can call us for that. We can get you an adjustable fuel plate or a fuel plate that will fuel to what your target horsepower is. So there's a lot of stuff there for you, man, Devin, that you can do right there. You've got a good truck. Enjoy it. Definitely think about doing the head studs first, man. Bryce Conley, will you gain more power by swapping out your turbo to a larger one or swapping out the injectors to a larger one on a Webb Cummins? So if it's, Bryce, if you're talking about a stock Cummins, it just depends. 24 valve. Okay. So it just depends on what you've got. So let's just say you've got a VP44 truck. You're going to have power adders to be able to spin a bigger turbo. That's in its most simple form. That's as best I can explain that. So there's a lot more to that. If you add injectors, light injectors to a small, to an HX35 or to your stock turbo, you're going to get a power gain that way. So what will you get? Will you get more of a power gain by doing injectors, or will you get more of a power gain by doing turbo? Well, it just depends on what turbo you choose and what injectors you choose. There's a fine line right there of what you're going to be able to do. You're not going to be able to run too big of an injectors with a stock fuel system and no power out of box. You're not going to be able to spin too big of a turbo with stock injectors, no power box either. So there's a couple of different things there, man. I hope I was able to shed some light on that for you, because that's a very, very broad question for sure. Ray Balderman, you're a good American. Bryce Conley, you're a good American too. You're damn right, Ray. Let's go fishing. I don't even know why we're sitting here right now. Tyler Jackson, 01 24 valve. What is the bottom end good for before having to upgrade? Tyler, the P-pump trucks have got a pretty good rod in them. You know, you're usually looking at, when you're talking about super big horsepower, super big, that was terrible. Talking about huge horsepower inside these trucks, you're usually looking at a rod's probably going to be the first thing that goes in there. Most people upgrade in stock format. They go to a 12 valve rod. Carrillo's got a set of rods for the truck. So does Wagler, so on. So rods are cheap insurance for motor not to go boom, and you don't want to cut a hole inside of your block. So that's definitely a thing. Devon, you're very welcome. Hello, Owen Hooker. Glad you're with us. William Jones, if you had to buy a new truck, what would you buy? That's a damn good question. And I've said this before, and I hate this. I hate to say it, but I love the new Fords. I do. I don't like a Ford truck. I never have liked a Ford truck, but they're probably making one of the best looking trucks out there on the road. They've got a great interior. The 6.7 motor is good. And I hate to say it, but I would probably buy a Ford, man. That hurts just a little bit. Tanner White. Tanner White's a good American. He said, asked you a few months ago about the idle issue on an LLY that would sit there and shake and miss it idle. When it warmed up, sounded like an injector harness shorting out. You said, let you know what it was, and finally figured out it was a fuel pressure regulator. Thanks for the advice. Tanner, I thought we had talked about maybe the improp being bad as well, too. If it was a dead miss, I would have thought that my money would have been on the injector harness, or what they call the ice pick test that they do for that. So, man, I'm glad that you found your problem, brother. If I didn't say improp, that's good too. At least the truck's running. Thanks for letting me know, man. Scalisi, Ray Scalisi said, who is putting out the new 6.4 rockers? I heard there's an upgraded set. I talk about that all the time. I'm not as up on my 6.4 trucks as I need to be. I don't know who's doing upgraded rockers. I think 2 or 3 different companies might be doing them. Maybe Riff Raff. And I'm just throwing out some names here. I don't know, but maybe Riff Raff or somebody like that, or Maryland. Gosh, dog, I hope they are, because that is the absolute junkiest component on any light-duty diesel motor ever out there. 6.4 rockers, for crying out loud. Russell Carter. Russell Carter is a good American. How much horsepower can a 93 12 valve handle without studs? What about bottom end? Don't have to worry about any bottom end problems on that, man. It's how much are you gonna be able to push at it before you squirt out a head gasket? It's not gonna be much if you stay with 35 frame turbo. Truck made 600 980. Tyler, I think you're okay on what you've got going on right now. You go any farther than that, I would go ahead and upgrade your rods. Janae, I see you. Janae is a good American. Let's see. Tommy Howell looking for a custom tune for a Bully Dog GT 9973. Tommy, give us a call. I can help you with that. Johnny Kutrowski, sorry about butchering your name, brother. I apologize. What would you recommend max power numbers for a 53 block Cummins? Johnny, it's really not about power. It just depends on how bad your block is and how far along the casting was, and that. It's a bad daggone deal. I don't think that it's a power number and you get to 600 horsepower, then the deck splits. You can do it on a stock one, man. So that's a slippery slope there. Garrison Krentz, 0964 F350, brand new Jasper long block. Been having rough idle like it's missing. No power loss when driving. Runs fine when revving up. Any ideas? Injectors and turbo are new as well. About 3,000 miles on a new engine. Spartan tow tune all deleted. 09 6.4, and you've got a rough idle. No, Garrison, I don't. Tell you one thing that I have seen on this rebuilds. If you did not have your crank turned and checked it for balance, I have seen some guys have some balancing issues with the crank on the 6.4 motors. Put them back in, and you've got a big daggone problem. It could be as slight as a miss, like you're talking about. So, contribution test, power contribution inside of the cylinders is probably going to be the first thing that you're going to want to look for. Even though you've got a new injectors, you could definitely have one that may not be right. So that's a couple of just things maybe to look for. The out of balance crank, that might be just a little bit extreme, but I have seen it before. So JJ Brown, how often do you typically drain your water filter separator on the lift pumps? I feel I forgot and not do it often. From Ashland, Kentucky. Hello to a fellow Kentuckian. JJ Brown is a great American. That's a really good question. My fuel separators on my truck are in a pretty easy place. They're right there in the fuel cap. I like to usually get under there and drain a little bit of water out of them. The problem that I've got is where I get my fuel, it's sketchy as hell. So the truck drivers that come in there are very sketchy, so I like not to get underneath my truck and drain my fuel separators because I like to keep my eyes on the other truckers just in case I have got to go to my gun and get a weapon and engage them in gunplay because they're trying to steal my truck. So if you get your fuel from a very safe place to get fuel, then I would suggest that every time that you're there to get fuel, reach under there, grab the water cock, go ahead and let a little water out of it. You're in good shape. So Nathan Snyder is a good American. Nathan, I will call you as soon as I get off of this show. I know what we need to talk about, and I'm sorry. One of my guys was supposed to be taking care of that PO. Braden Hobson, I have an E250 7.3. Uh-oh. And I am a 4x4 swapping in a TBD Dana 50 trans. Should I run home upgrade injection? I swap 4R100, man. Hands down, absolutely 4R100. Very, very tough. Very, very tough trans for sure. Tyler, you're very welcome. Don Fetzer, thank you for taking the time to answer questions. Look forward to listening and learning from this. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Dan. Merry Christmas to you, Don. Sorry. JJ, you're very welcome. Josh Wallace, will a 6.4 starter work on a 6.0? If so, what are the advantages? I don't know the answer to that, Josh. I don't know if the bolt pattern is the same, and if the Bendix, the amount of Bendix comes out the same. I can't answer that question for you, brother. I wouldn't do that. That could turn out real bad. Brody Morgan, I have 500 plus on my 0259. Tired of braking automatic transmission. Should I stay with the auto or switch to standard? And what transmission do you recommend for the standard? Brody, if you're dead set that you're going to go ahead and do a standard shift swap, MB 4500 is the old standby, man. I would stay with that. You might want to look at what you're doing with your transmission builds. Somebody should be able to build you a transmission that's going to hold up that kind of horsepower, brother. Just think outside the box. Might look for a new builder, or maybe look for a new transmission, or maybe do a drop-in transmission with full billet internals. You won't have to worry about it anymore. Greg Elay, he says, I have got an injection pump from you guys for my 87 69 F250. Runs great now. I appreciate your help getting me set up with one. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Greg. Merry Christmas, brother. Hank Davis, 99.73, and got an oil leak. They've all got oil leaks, Hank. I hear you, brother. Had the high-pressure oil pump rebuilt about 6 months ago. Where's the next place to look? What's your most common leaks? All right, Hank, really, really good question. You're going to want to start with checking your engine valley for that. See if you've got oil pooling inside of your engine valley. If you've got oil pooling in the engine valley, it's coming from one or two places. It's coming from your turbo pedal, or it's coming from that new high-pressure oil pump that you've got. Check your lines as well going into the heads. Make sure that they're not leaking. There's a bunch of different places that a 7.3 can leak oil from. Everybody is going to know. Everybody knows that, and you know that now. Just make sure that you do your due diligence to figure out what is leaking. So I would start with checking to see if you've got oil in the engine valley. Dry that up, and then start the truck and run it and see if you can visually see where the leak is coming from. Good luck to you, man. I know that's going to be rough. Maria Alba joined. Maria Alba is a great American. Thank you for coming today, Maria. Send us your, what is it, Keneally? I need the Keneally recipe from you. It's the holidays. Don't be stingy with it. Daryl Wingard II. I have a 2017 F250. Do you know if the 2015-16 upgrade turbo kit fits it? Daryl, I think that it does. The part number that I have got on the website for the 16 turbos comes with the upgraded kit in it. You can take a look at that on our website and look at the 4 MoCo part numbers that come in and the breakdown on that. Give you an idea on that. Joe Martin, Death Wobble. I've replaced track bar, ball joints, control arm, bushing, steering, drag links, drag bike frame, and that's okay. Still have a Death Wobble. Only thing left are the tires, and I'll replace on Saturday. What am I missing here? I'm tired of chasing it and going broke. Replace part. Joe, really good question. I think you're going to find your problem when you do the tires. Let me talk to you about that too. I've had a truck in my personal fleet, which my fleet has been very small in my life. But I have seen it be tires before. I've done the exact same thing. I've gone through everything, ball joints, track bar. I think you said track bar there. Yes, you did say track bar. Go ahead and rotate your tires out. I would rotate back to front on your tires to see if that takes care of it. If it does, I don't know if the old saying is true inside of tires. You can break a belt on them, but that's what my problem was. So good luck to you on that, man. I know that's a rough one. Ricky Parsons, 6.4 is the same direct bolt up. It spins 200 RPM stock is around 150. Ricky, thank you for the answer. We appreciate that for sure. Learned something myself today. James Clements, what would be a good first mod for a 2017 Dodge 6.7 Cummins Turbo? Tuning, James, and you want to make sure that you use some sort of tuning that you can grow into. But a good light tuning will just clean up what you've got going on. Should get you, if the tuning is done correctly, it should get you a better distance between regeneration. So a lot of different things going on there. Jenny wants to know if trucks can run on bourbon. Oh my goodness, yes. Yes, you all do. I will get with you on that, and absolutely, your holidays are not going to go soberly. I can promise you that. Dylan Tipton, I have a 159 Cummins, starts fine, but when I give it fuel and gets to 1300 RPMs, it starts missing and dies, and my PSI gauge stays at 30 and won't move. Any suggestion? Replace the fuel filter and fuel pump is working. Fuel is 13. 30 PSI is just a little bit too much, Dylan, so you want to make sure that you check into that. If you got one of the Aerotech sideways lift pumps, we need to get that pressure down just a little bit. You might want to think about going with something that is a little bit lower pressure and higher flow. I think that's going to fix the problem that you've got. You could still have an IAT problem inside the pump, but let's hope not. Let's correct the lift pump pressure problem first. Nick Holbrook, after any aftermarket solutions for loose steering, second gen Cummins stabilizers and replacement parts for steering. Nick, there's a lot to that as well. You want to make sure that you check your track bar on that. You want to make sure you're checking your pitman arm on that. Make sure that your steering box is not screwed up. There's a lot to that. I drive an 01 24 valve. I know exactly what you're talking about. You just got to steer between the bumps, man. No, that's absolutely a terrible answer. But check all your components. You want to make sure that you get inside the truck, shake the truck back and forth, shake your steering wheel back and forth while you've got somebody laying underneath of the truck and looking at everything like the track bar if you've got play in it, pitman arm, and so on. So good luck to you, man. Brody, would be good drop-in transmission, no problem. Most of these torque converters. We carry ATS, Suncoast, BD as far as drop-in transmissions go. If I missed any of them, I apologize to you. Any of those manufacturers are going to be great, man. Got a 96.73 I'm working on. Has a hard start. I believe it's from the H-pop. Having a slow leak down. When the truck is running, it'll run fine for the first 2 seconds of starting up, and then it throws a check engine and runs incredibly rough. Haven't had a chance to get a scanner on it yet. What do you think? IPR, ICP, and cam sensors test good. I believe the H-pop had a slow leak down. I don't believe you got a leak down there, man. You've got a leak somewhere, but you may want to start with your your L-pop, just a couple different things. That, man, that's a hard one to diagnose without having an auto scan. We talk about it all the time. HUE ejection system is really not something that you're going to be able to shade tree, and by shade tree, I'm just saying diagnose it by just listening to it. You've really got to see it on a computer screen. You've got to know exactly what's going on with the truck. So good luck with you, man. If there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. Ariana HMS, man, can I purchase trans tune code from you? Yes, Justin, you sure can. James Clemens, you're very welcome. Rock Johnson, what's a good brand of ball joints for the 2015 2500 Ram Cummins? I am a big Moog guy, Rock. I would suggest going with Moog. Dylan Tipton stays at 15, but since it's starting missing, it stays at 30. Check your gauge on that, man. You may have zero. You may have zero fuel pressure, Dylan. If it's staying at 30, you could have zero fuel pressure. You're going to want to verify your fuel pressure with the manual gauge at this point. Brody, you're very welcome. Josh, I think yours is going to be the last question we take, man. 98 24 valve work truck, all stock. What would you suggest for putting a safe tow tune on the truck? I'm aware of the Edge comp box, but I don't want the potential of others changing the power levels. That's a really good question. So, Josh, we're going to assume that you've already got some sort of upgraded lift pump on the truck. My suggestion for you tuning-wise would probably be we're going to stay in the Edge realm, but we're going to say that the Edge EZ is probably going to be the best upgrade for you, the best light upgrade for you. 65 horsepower module, does really good for better fuel economy. It's going to get you a little bit more power and kind of an extra passing gear. So I would definitely check that out for sure. Yeah, okay, all right. So let me look at my talking points that my manager Adam puts down here for us. So Hanukkah started on Tuesday, so we want to say Merry Hanukkah. It's Happy Hanukkah to any of our Jewish customers. I already did that. 11 days away from Christmas. Thanks to the jerk Jimmy for filling in last week. Yeah, that's exactly right. Jimmy, thank you for filling in last week. You are a prick. So yeah, you guys got to hear a lot of stories about me last week. None of that crap was true. Oh, PRI, a couple of cool things coming out from Fleece, man. They've got a new pump coming out. They have also got a really, really cool exhaust brake that you guys are really going to like. Saw a lot of the billet blocks, got to talk to a lot of my buddies and stuff. Very good show at PRI, and enjoyed seeing everybody. We still got tons of sales going on. The girls from D-Tech were on here. D-Tech sale is back on. We turned it back on Tuesday, I think. 10% off the entire line. Shh, don't tell anybody, but it's a great sale. Go check that out. Tennessee football. Tennessee finally hired a coach. Thank you, God. Good job, Tennessee. You got a good coach, too. I don't know what was going on with Fulmer becoming the AD. That was a little bit of a shady operation, but good job, you guys. Arkansas got a good coach. There are a bunch of good coaches that got out there. So the SEC is going to be awesome next year. Come down, go to a Kentucky football game with us. Dirty Diana update. I hope the motor is running next week. I say that every week, but the motor's going to be running next week. I'm going to do everything I can to. 15% off Sinister right now, 10% off Smarty, Edge, Race Me, AFE, Banks, BBI Injectors, BD Diesel, and D-Tech. Fleece is still 15% off. Free shipping on Suncoast transmissions and new discounted price on the flex plates. All right. Oh, I was giving away a thing of Power Shot today. Tommy Hager, you're late, brother, but Tommy Hager's a good American. We're going to give a bottle of Power Shot away to somebody today. Joe Martin, you're getting the Power Shot winner today. So make sure that you send a message to the Facebook page, and we'll get you that out. Thanks for watching. Turn your Facebook Live notifications on, whatever that means, and do your best to be great Americans this week. And if somebody calls you about the Tennessee football job, make sure that you tell them that's already filled. Guys, have a great week, and we will see you next week.